Right, good day, world. Welcome to the show. Bright and beautiful Sunday morning here in Sri Lanka. I'm just waiting for my host to join online. Hiran is having few difficulties out there. He's trying to connect. Hopefully that he'll be online shortly with us. In the meantime, I hope people doing great out there, and it's going to be a wonderful day. And hope everybody is getting ready for Christmas, New Year, all that. It's happening. I'm just waiting for Hiran to join me. And how you doing, folks? By the way, just see some people already joining the show, and it's good to have you on board. Just Hiran is still. I can't still see Hiran, and Hiran, if you can hear me, uh, I'm waiting for you to join. Good morning to you, Russ. Good to have you on the show. Uh, Hope everyone else, will give a little time for people to join in. Um, as we all know that, the Hiran is a great, now we all know Hiran as a top hotelier, leading business entrepreneur. More than anything else, he's a good friend and an old teammate of mine, and so it's I'm happy, and it's my privilege to have him on the show. Um, Ravi De Silva, SJC versus Anand. You raised your foot, I'll stump you, mate. Yeah, I know. I remember that. Yes, yes. Good morning to you too, Manix. How are you doing? Tatra Jaisinga Subudasanak. Yes, good to have you. Good to have you there. And Hiran is still not there, and I just don't know what's happening. Just hopefully the Hiran will be with us shortly. Yeah, I can see Hiran coming in now. Yeah, are you ready, Hiran? Uh, Oh yeah, the technology is always good to have you, mate. Good to have you.
Thank
Good to
you,
see
Charlie.
you.
Thank
I
you very
just did
much.
I did a very brief intro before you came online,
Right.
and as we all know that you're a leading hotelier, renowned, recognized locally and internationally, the business entrepreneur, and more than anything else, as I told people that we've been friends.
Just been friends.
Uh,
That's right. Yes.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
teammates, and
Mm.
people know you as the chairman of Jetwing Group, but there go Hiran. Hiran is offline once more. I don't know why. Ron, good to have you on the show, mate. Heva Malikarachi, yes, good morning. Good morning to you too. I'm just waiting for Hiran. He just came online briefly, and he just went off. Hopefully that he will be with me shortly. Until Hiran joins, that probably Ravi can contribute. That people don't know. We all know Hiran as a is a top leading uh, hotelier and a businessman, but very few people um, know that he was a outstanding cricketer during his school days. That we played against one another over the years. The time I was playing for Ananda, and Hiran played for St. Joseph's, and then he eventually he represented Sri Lanka schools under 19, and we toured UK together. That was my first tour to UK. Perhaps Hiran had been there earlier, and so we go back a long way. Basically, the Hiran and I, and was a top cricketer before he moved on to take over his father's business, and that's what Hiran. Lots of people didn't know much about him. That's I'm just waiting for Hiran to come and to tell people that that what made Hiran make that switch. Hiran, I was just telling people, good to have you
Yeah.
back, mate. That everybody knows you as a leading businessman, top hotelier, but not many people knew that you were a great cricketer during your days. That you played cricket, you represented Sri Lanka under 90, and what made you? I know that your background. That your father has been a leading businessman. You were always in hotelering, and
Right.
what made you play cricket? Just taking you back, very quickly.
Charlie, I just love the game. I mean, I didn't come from a cricketing family. My father claimed he played for St. Benedict's and St.
Right.
Joseph's, and he met one or two people who also confirmed that he had played. and my
Right.
uncle had played for St. Benedict's College. But I simply loved it, and at that time there weren't that many children wanting to play cricket either. So we got into the under 12 squad, and then from then on kept on playing until we played first 11. And as you said, we were lucky enough to be selected to be tour England in 1981. And then I played a couple of years, for 1 year for SSC and another year for Coles,
Yeah.
and realized that there wasn't much of a future in cricket for me, and went to study. That's how it all happened. But I still love the game. I spend a lot of time watching the game. Armchair critic. One of my sons went on to captain St. Joseph's College as well, so that gave me a lot of pleasure. Watched a lot of those matches that he played in, and yeah, so still continue to watch whatever cricket that's available on TV.
Right, yeah, great stuff. I thought both your sons played cricket. That I'm happy that at least that one of your sons carried on your legacy and played for St. Joseph's. And I
Yeah.
guess just
Well,
the way you
all three played, but
right.
one was, I must say, was quite good. He became one of the leading wicket takers for St. Joseph's in the history of the game. So he captained in 2017. The other two boys played, but there are guys who also play, so they were also played.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff.
Mm.
I believe, just like the father did, took the easy way out and they all joined your the business. And I believe Mrs. Cooray, was the head umpire and ruled all you guys out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's good old days. Say hi to
Yes.
the boys, say hi to the
I
boys,
will,
and
Charit. I will
helping
definitely.
you out to get online and
Yeah,
say
yeah.
to your lovely
Hmm.
wife. And
Yes.
Hiran, just
Mm.
take me back. I think it all started, Blue Oceanic, going back to
Yes.
the Nigambo days. It's so ironic that I started my career as a hotelier, and I spent some time in Nigambo, and it so happened that I was at Browns Beach, and that the Blue Oceanic was the other leading hotel at that time in Nigambo, and there was healthy competition between us,
Yes.
and it was always like I was looking forward to in the evenings to go across to your place and meet Mr. Ruan Samarasinghe, your great general manager, then to
Yeah.
share
Yeah.
some good
And an
banter.
Ananda College batsman.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Right,
Mm.
great
Mm.
cricketer,
Mm.
former Anandian as well,
Yeah. Yeah.
senior to all of us.
Mm. Mm.
And tell us, sir, the transition from Blue Oceanic to this entire now, I believe that you have from there onwards, this new Jetping group, you have
Mm.
expanded. You
Mm.
got
Mm.
the hotels
Right.
all over the country.
Right.
2020 had been a very challenging year, Iran. We all
Mm.
know, especially in
Mm.
the hospitality. And how did you survive this year? And what kind of challenges you had? If you can tell people, you're switching from having like 90% occupancy and then going
Right.
zero occupancy overnight, people leaving
Right.
the country, and then the switch to hoteling to quarantine. How did you manage all this?
Well, our story is a long story, Chari. I mean, my father started in the 1970s. Pretty much by accident, he got into tourism or hospitality. He was a building contractor, and then, he got the opportunity to build his own hotel. He
Yeah.
started with 6 rooms in Nigambo, what you call the Blue Oceanic, and then went on. And then the travel agency also just fell on our laps in 1981 when a German tour operator wanted us to handle his business. So
Right.
that's how, and then of course my father kept on investing in the leisure sector. He didn't take any money home. Whatever the money he earned, he put it back into the business. So that is what kept us growing in the field of tourism. Even when I joined the business in 1987, I'm sure you'll remember 87 to 89 was pretty dark years in our country. The north and east was burning, and the south was burning as well. So even during that time, when we hardly had any money, my dad kept on investing. So this was something that no management book, no management theorists will agree that you invest in hard times, and he did. He went on investing and improving the product and the services that we had. So of course that helped us when things returned to normalcy in 2009. So 2009 to 2019 was probably the glory years for us. We had tremendous run. We By then, unfortunately, my father didn't live long enough to see the completion of the conflict. He passed away in 2008. So my sister Shiromal, Ruan, and I, ran the business from a senior management level. Of course, by then the company had also grown to a level where we had other directors, managers, and so on. So we had, until the COVID struck, we had a total of 3,600 associates with us. Now we are down to about 3,000. So during these 10 years, 2009 to 19, we expanded. We went on we listed a public company called Jetwing Symphony, and that company owns now 6 hotels. All the new hotels that we built are owned by that company. Colombo 7, Yala, Kaduruketa, Surf in Portugal, and Candy Gallery, Jetwing Lake in Dambul. All these properties are belonging to this public company, and we grew at a level that was quite challenging. But then, of course, timing was good. So nobody anticipated the Easter bomb in the first place. That really shook us, shook the industry, and brought us back to really a low level. But one thing that happened after the 2019 Easter Sunday attack, the rest of the world was doing fine. All the pundits said we'll take 18, 24 months to recover. But we actually recovered in about 6, 7 months. That is because the world supported us. Whether it was Europe, whether it was China, whether it was India, they all came to our help. They all helped us to recover. And by January, we were back to almost normal, January of 2020. Unfortunately, the COVID struck. Now, this has been the most difficult time for us ever. One thing is, it's not only the economic cost, the social cost. Now, you and I, and most in our age group, have seen this country go through lots of ups and downs. But the youngsters who are working with us now, we have lots of graduates who are marketing degree holders to financial degree holders, economic degree holders now, who are working with us. Now, these kids haven't gone through they, at least when they were young, or they were in school. So the internal conflict until 2009 didn't impact their lives. They went to school, they did their sports, they came back, and then they went to uni, graduated, joined the industry. Now they are struggling because is there any hope for them? What are they going to do? Are they going to change the industry that they loved? Tourism is an industry. When you get hooked on, it's very difficult to leave this industry, because there are lots of good things also in tourism. But if they don't see a future, it's a tough one. So I know a lot of the youngsters in our company. They are struggling. They don't know whether to change, whether to hang on. We ourselves, it's very difficult for us to tell them, hey, don't worry, tomorrow is going to be okay. So these 9 months was very, very difficult. Our literally, our business has come to a standstill. If not for the government's moratorium and 2 months of working capital loans at a very reduced interest rate, most of us would be gone by now. We wouldn't be able to hold on to an industry where you don't earn any money.
Sure.
Just to give you an idea, our salary bill for a month after the reductions is about 90 million rupees.
Wow.
So we are paying that without earning any money, and I don't know for how long we can go on. But now, on the positive side, is that there is talk of airport opening, probably early January. There will be some charters coming from 26 December. So there will be some movement of people. Sri Lankans are slowly but surely starting to travel again. All these things will, I know our priority at the moment is to pay our people. As I said, we have close to 3,000 people working with us, and our priority number one is to pay them. Priority number two is to pay the suppliers, and the number three is to pay the banks. So at the moment, we are not paying the banks because there's a government moratorium that's extended till September of 2021. But unless tourism really starts by then, most hotels won't be able to pay the banks. They'll struggle to pay the banks.
Wow,
That's
that's the ground reality here on, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, and as you rightly said, it's a massive uh, salary bill at the end of every month, and that you have
Yes.
no source of income. I simply, it's unimaginable how the industry will survive. And with this whole COVID thing, I think just a big hi to everyone listening out there, and sending their wishes to you, Hiran. And there is a message which on display. AJ Shanti Ratnam says, is someone who has worked under you.
Yes, yes. One
Says,
of our bright boys, he left us and went to Sydney.
yes, it is in Australia. He's watching you
Yeah.
right now. And Brad Stevens, good to have Brady on the show. He hosts. He's a lovely radio DJ on EFM. I just sent him a message. I wish
Right.
Brad and Kiara nothing but the very best. With their show. It's good to have Brad on the show. And so many
Right.
people. And Sujiva, I think the question Sujiva asked, I think you, Hiran, that you replied,
Okay.
doing
Answered really.
saying that
Okay.
he's asking what the government could have done to come
Yeah.
to your aid
Yeah.
and kind of thing. That just as you rightly said, that I don't know, this morning the news that I heard last night, that they were thinking of reducing the quarantine period. So tell me, at
Hmm.
the moment, out of you said you have seven different outlets, right, at the moment.
No, no. We have a total of 25 hotels and 9 villas.
Wow. So
Too much.
I know. Wow, that's and out of those 25 places, so
Yeah.
all functional, or they all
All
function.
functional. We never closed a single hotel. But you can't close hotels, because if you close a hotel, to get it started will take you another month of Sundays, because now all you guys who come as a customer will see only the front end, but there's a back end. The back end is something that you can't close. There are air conditioning plants, there are sewerage plants, there are refrigerators, kitchens, all these things. We need to at least run it for hour or two. Our engineering never allowed us to close, because once you close, to get it restarted, oh my God, you don't know what cost it will be to restart an old machine. So we just didn't close any of our hotels, and I'm really thankful that all our managers, despite not having any guests, they stayed on with a few staff in the hotel. I mean, they were doing agricultural work, planting something, whatever, kept themselves busy during the time we did not have guests. But as I said, now slowly but surely the Sri Lankans are beginning to travel. So weekends we have 15, 20, 25 rooms occupied back again. So, it moves on. So all the hotels, Chari, are open. Nothing is
Wow,
closed.
the little I knew about hoteling, I remember my old Mr. Perumal, and that
Yes.
they were always used to say that we had this decision, that we had to make a hard decision due to erosion to
Yeah.
close up one wing, and as you rightly said, it was an absolute nightmare to bring it back, and we
Yeah.
didn't, just closing up a section
Yeah.
for about 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
you mean to say all the hotels in Sri Lanka right now, that they never closed and everybody's operating?
No, I don't know about all the hotels, because I can't answer for all the hotels. But most hotels I know, if you, some of the, Charit, after 2009, a lot of people came into tourism with very little experience, right? And
Yeah.
then they just kept on building, and some of them, in desperation, have closed down, but they will struggle to reopen. But companies like Atkins Spence, John Keels, Hemas, who have been in this business for a long time, they kept their, I mean, they may not have had guests, but they kept their plant in operation, so that it's very easy for them to restart when tourism comes back.
Right, it's interesting, that so you mean that all your hotels that you have never you kept your entire staff, and you did not reduce, and you're operating, keeping everybody going.
Yes, the staff are on the payroll, but most of them are not at work. They are at home because when we don't have guests, we only keep a skeleton staff,
That's right.
right? Because it's no point in keeping all of them with us. But they do get, those who get 50,000 and less get the full salary, but the others, anything over 50,000, have voluntary reduction scheme that we implemented, and they all agreed to that. And according to their salary, they get their salary at the end of the month. But now, most of them are coming back to work because we expect now with holidays, Christmas, all that, most Sri Lankans will travel, so we will have a slightly more busier period coming into the holiday season.
Great stuff, mate. Again, once again, big hi to Roshi, Samantha, Mal, Ricky, so many, Lakshman, Nihal, all are saying there's so many watching and enjoying listening to you, Hiran. That's great news. There's as you said, I think the flights, resumed. I think last week, some of the flights to Australia, to Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I think, it's, if I'm not mistaken, they have started flying to Australia twice a week, and they are hoping to extend their services to Sydney as well. And do you have any reservations coming up for the Christmas period? How does
No, we are still not taking reservations from outside the country.
Right.
Because all we know at the moment is that from the 26th of December, Civil Aviation Authority has allowed commercial charter flights to come. The flights that are operating right now are operated as cargo flights, but some passengers come on pre-approved basis. So Emirates Airlines, Etihad, Qatar, and of course our own Sri Lankan flies to different destinations. As you said, now you said they're flying to Melbourne. Yes, they do fly to Melbourne and Sydney as cargo, but provided you have approval to fly either out or in on them, you can fly. But commercial flights, commercial charter flights will start from 26 December, and our belief is that regular travelers will be allowed to come in from about the middle of January with certain guidelines, which will be like you had to stay in a selected hotel for a minimum period of 7 days. During that period, you'll have to do a minimum of 2 PCRs. Provided you come negative, then you will be allowed to travel freely. Provided you follow the guidelines, you'll be allowed to travel within the country after that.
Right. Yes, still a lot of restrictions in place, and
yes,
lots of people watching from Australia saying that they are still not allowed to travel out of Australia, which is not good news. Big guy to Ricky watching all the way, and Riaz Rauf all the way from Canada says watching all the way from Toronto, Canada. Congratulations for promoting tourism and looking positively at the future. Way to go. Yes, that's the way to go. Now we can be as positive as possible, but it all depends. Certain things which we can control, and
which we cannot.
There are some uncontrollables. That all we can do is to live in hope. The question is this quarantine that which we started. I know you had some of your hotels, dedicated hotels as the quarantine business. Did that help you? How challenging is that?
Well, actually, it started by how the hotels got into quarantine is by accident. One of my close friends, I think you also know him, Romesh. Romesh's daughter was in Dietalawa, and she was being very well looked after by the army. So I casually called the army commander and said, I'm calling to thank you on behalf of my friend's daughter, who was very well looked after. And then he told me, okay, that's fine, but it is costing the government 7,500 rupees a day. So then I just said, look, we have our hotels, we can provide that service for that amount. And that's how he said, are you serious? Yeah, I said, yes, of course. And then he got back and said, look, talk to so and so, so and so. And then if that's serious, and then of course the other companies also joined in, and here we are. So it is when I say helping it. Look, 7,500 rupees per person per day. We give them 3 meals, air conditioned room, Wi-Fi, everything. It's not making money, but it is making money for us to pay the staff, to pay the suppliers. Yes. So those two aspects are covered with this, and we believe we are also doing a service, because it's not easy. If you and I are locked in a bedroom for 14 days, and we can't go anywhere, it's a tough call. So for them, at least the fact that there's a hotel room, TV, some beach or sea to look at least a balcony to go out and sit. So something better than nothing. So I would say 95% of those people who stayed with us, thanked us, and when some were obviously not happy. You can't make everyone happy.
Well, that's the case in life, isn't it?
Yeah,
You can't
yeah,
make everybody happy. But what
yeah,
you're saying is what a great initiative, mate.
yeah.
I think once we started, the whole entire world followed.
Mm,
Earlier people were quarantined, either in centers or
yes,
in their
yeah,
own homes, and
yeah,
the hotels started opening up.
yeah,
That gave hope to people, and
yeah.
just to how to survive
Mm.
during hard times. I was always thinking, whose idea was it to get these quarantine centers going? And a great initiative. Well done, Hiran. And I think Dilit also, that
Dilit,
got on board.
of course, offered his hotels as well immediately. Yeah,
Yeah. And as you rightly said, that I mean, it's at the end of the day, affordability, but still
yeah,
people want to travel,
yeah.
and that you got some hope. But as some people say,
Mm,
as Dilanta say, Charit, I was to travel with the restrictions.
mm,
Uh, I got to be brain dead to travel to itself 14 days quarantine. Yeah, but
yeah.
Dilanta, I think before you joined the show, the news that is coming in, I think the quarantine period perhaps reduced to 7 days. Perhaps Hiran can confirm. I'm not very sure what's happening, and so that's
Yeah,
great news.
I can confirm a little bit more. If you come
Yeah.
in as a repatriate, on a repatriation flight, you still be uh, quarantine for 14 days, as at today. These
Wow.
these
Okay.
these things can change, because these are all living documents. They are subject to change by the authorities. As at today, if you come in as a in a repatriation flight, you have to stay for 14 days. But once the airport is open for commercial travelers, I think even Sri Lankans can come, but then they won't get the 7,500 rupees. It will obviously be a different rate.
Right.
Mm.
Big hi to Ajit Jayasekara, the big boss watching. Say hi to you, Hiran.
Yeah, of course. Air
Good
Force
old.
cricketer and CEO of Sri Lanka Cricket.
Of course, yes, and he was my former boss.
Right.
And Rohan Vijay Singer, just good to have Rohan I on the show. You're senior at St. Joseph,
The great
uh,
left-hander.
great left-hander. Yeah, just I'm trying to get to his message. Long message Rohan I had sent. He was always that he was a great follower. It's always helped us.
I'm
What
not
is,
sure, Chari, whether his batting was better or his poetic skills are better. He's become
well,
a, you know,
Well, I didn't know much about Rohan. At the time he played school, and I always told Rohan Iyer that he should take up to his writing skills. It's
my
amazing.
goodness, he's challenging Shakespeare, I think.
Probably the good habits that he inherited at
Yeah,
St. Joseph's. The great writing skills, and
yeah.
absolutely fantastic to have him on the show. And then Jai Sasanka Bikrama, I think he was at Ananda. I think he knows you.
Very well, very well. Yeah, he's a great fan of Jetwing, and not only is he a great fan of Jetwing, he actually helps some of our boys and girls who need assistance. The guy he's a philanthropist more than
Yes,
anything else. Yeah.
yes, he's on the show. So big hi to Jai, and he was that he was very keen. This morning when I first thing I woke up, I saw the message and said I'm waiting to see you guys. Thanks for all the support. By the way, must mention the fact that Jai is one of another well wisher that who helped me initially to start the
Right.
show,
Right.
and thank you very much. And then Harpo had just sent me a message and saying hi to both of us. He's traveling back to Colombo from outstation. and
Right.
good to have Harpo on board.
Yeah,
And
I can see Harpo's, behind you.
yes,
Yeah,
Harpo,
yeah.
it's just good to have Harpo on the show, just like you, Iran. And Harpo is also, equally, it's challenging times for
Sure, of course.
the
Of course.
entertainment. The other
Yeah.
industry that is apart from
Yes.
hotelery, that I
Yeah.
think that the industries that are really struggling, the restaurants, cafes, bars, and then entertainment and all
Yeah.
those people.
Yeah.
I think the last show that I had, 2 weeks, I think 3 weeks ago, Sohana and Corinne on the show, and
Hmm.
how challenging it is for them,
Yeah.
and to keep it going. Entertainment at the moment is
Yeah.
almost built.
Yeah.
And but I understand, Iran, that some of the places have opened up last week, and the people love to go out and just
Yes, yes. I think now more and more places are opening up, and they are also relaxing the guidelines. So therefore, hopefully, by about Christmas we'll have more relaxation coming in, and more people can go into the bars and restaurants and so on. So basically, Harpo, all of us are in the same boat, struggling along, limping along at the moment, praying for better times.
Yep. And big hi to
Mm.
Vasantalal Fernando. Remember, brilliant Prince of Wales cricket, I think,
Prince of Wales, yes, of course, yeah, yeah, yes,
Yeah,
of
and
course,
saying,
yeah,
big hi to you, and
yeah.
just to Hiran, just to ask you personally. I mean, I don't know how you want to answer this.
Hmm.
This whole COVID business, mate. Do you actually? I'll tell you why I'm asking you this question in
Okay.
a while. There's a. Do you actually think it is as dangerous as been portrayed by authorities, or is a real danger out there?
This is my personal view, Majang. This
Yeah.
is, I think if you look at the statistics, I'm not a great believer in statistics, but if you look at the statistics, right? Take Sri Lanka, for example. Tell me how many have died of COVID or how many have died with COVID, right?
Exactly.
As far as I know, no one has died of COVID. They have died. People who unfortunately died, due to terminal diseases that they were carrying, and maybe the COVID expedited a little bit. Globally, it's the same. The people who are dying are mainly over the age of 80, who have other massive issues, cancer, heart, diabetes at a different level, all of that. So after 55 or 60 million cases, a little over a million, 1.5 million deaths, right? So, I mean, people die, due to road accidents or heart disease or whatever, much more every day, even in our country. So, why such an issue globally? I am completely confused. I am really at a loss. But who am I? I mean, if we talk too much, people can think, oh, these guys are very selfish, self-centered fellows. They are only interested in their business. A lot of people have been frightened. I'm living in an apartment complex now. I know some people don't get out of their apartment. They don't look at someone's face anymore and smile, thinking that you will get COVID. So people are just simply paranoid due to this. I mean, you have to obviously take precautions. You have to take you have to do your exercises. You have to be, you have to take your vitamin D, vitamin E, whatever. Be careful with the diet you consume, all of that, and be ready for it. I mean, the stronger you are, less likely you will get, and even if you get it, you won't even have any symptoms. I mean, and I know a doctor who's looking after a COVID hospital, and she tells me none of the inmates are symptomatic. They are completely asymptomatic, and they only ask, "Nona gedara yanda puluwan kawada? Nona gedara yanda puluwan kawada?" That's all. So we are just locking people up, keeping them, and I think we need to be cautious, be careful, but get on with our lives now.
You are absolutely right. And big hi to Lalit Gunratna watching all the way from USA. That is former Anand, the cricketer, senior army man. Hiran,
Yeah.
must tell you, mate, that I'm on the same page. as much as you are. I mean,
Yeah.
just the way your industry is struggling. That I still, I'm still. I make a living getting out there, coaching people. Spending
Right.
time, on cricket. Just
Right.
a subject that you and I both love.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Mm-hmm.
look at the whole world, the sports have come to a standstill, and it's heartbreaking to see some major tournaments are played without zero
People.
spectators.
Yeah. Yeah.
That it's like playing a game in a ghost town kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just this all this hype, the build up. I do not know where it's coming from. That we are, as I'm confused as much as you are.
Mm-hmm.
And now talking about the vaccinations, that what your
Yeah.
thoughts are, that everybody's waiting for vaccinations. And I heard day before yesterday in Australia, they terminated the Queensland the entire operation because certain people developed other symptoms.
Okay.
This whole
Right.
this rigmarole about this vaccine scenario. What are your thoughts, mate? Are we going to? What people don't realize is that
Yeah.
there is no. Yesterday, I had a chat with some of the guys, and
Right.
they were all saying, "Let's take antibiotics for COVID." People,
Right.
antibiotics for bacterial infections, not
Right.
for
Yeah.
viruses.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not going to help. And it's
Yes.
just, as you rightly said, strengthen your immune system.
Yeah.
Face it, you can't
Yeah.
run away from it.
Sure. Sure.
Your
Yeah.
entire life. What do you reckon about this vaccination
I
scenario?
think if the vaccine works well, giving it to those most vulnerable makes sense. I mean, naturally, we don't want to see our loved ones pass away, with this. So, therefore, anyone who's over the age of 75 or 80, they to be given, yes. But I don't know whether the healthy people should be whacking these vaccines and, shortening your lifespan. We don't know what else will happen to you. So therefore, it's better that the healthy people remain healthy without the vaccine, but the others who are vulnerable at least safeguard themselves by taking it on.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And Bilal Yusuf, is a top coach who helped me out. And the other industry that is really struggling. He owns a gym. The poor guy, for the last 5-6 months, he's struggling to pay his rent.
Right.
And sadly, I'm sad to say this. I know because some of my boys, facing this challenge. The people who are renting places, there is absolutely no mercy. These people have no business, but they keep on insisting on rents, and
Right.
they have to fork out money from I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Just like you, mate. I don't know how long they could sustain. So the gyms are virtually, literally, it is closing down, and another industry that is suffering. Bernard Vijayatunga, good to have you, sir. Your old Peterite senior, and he's on the show. That's
Nice to have Bernard, the big match winning captain.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There you go.
1973.
Right. And Hiran, just to ask you, mate, on this the whole the vaccination thing, do you have any positive news? People are talking about the English tour going ahead next year. I know that there's a goal test coming up, and the English would love to stay in your hotel. It's a great place. They always that they come to Lighthouse and stay there. Any news on that?
Yeah, from what I know, that they are coming on the 3rd or whatever to Hambantota, and I think the English cricketers will practice there,
Right.
and then they come to the English team will stay at Jetwing Lighthouse, but then once they come in, the whole hotel is closed for everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah. From what I know, it's only the cricket. I mean, I think they have taken something that more than 14 or 18 players are coming.
Yes.
Plus the officials, plus whatever. But we cannot have anybody else, no outsiders allowed in the hotel, and it'll be exclusively for the English team. And I believe the Sri Lanka team is in another hotel in Galle, and that'll be also exclusively for the use of the Sri Lankan team. So as for the Barmy Army or anybody wanting to come, if the airport is open, I believe they can come, but they'll have to stay in another hotel, not in any of the hotels that the cricketers are staying in.
Right. So that is the bio bubble scenario will continue.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. So
those are the conditions of the English team management also, I believe, from what I've heard.
Challenging times. I mean, I'm sure that
Yeah,
you're following what is happening around the world.
yeah,
The,
yeah.
the England tour to South Africa. That's unfortunately, came to a abrupt
Mm,
halt because
mm,
the English felt that the bio bubble is not secured,
mm,
and
mm.
some of their players were initially tested,
Yeah,
but then found negative. This
yeah,
whole PCR, this game again, mate. Sometimes
yeah, yeah,
one
yeah.
day you're positive, the next day that you are negative. That's so you don't know whom to believe. Some of these that how do these tests work? Because why I'm saying it, Hiran, there's
Mm.
some of the boys, that I went through that the same experience that was quarantined over a period of time because one of the squad members was infected,
Okay.
and this is the gospel truth, mate. I'm telling you that
Mm.
by the time the PCR test results came, the boys have recovered, and
Yeah,
there's no
yeah.
symptoms. They were ready to train.
Nothing, nothing. Because anyway, the cricketers are fit, so they even if they test positive, they won't have any symptoms. I mean, the guys will just get through within a few days.
Yeah, and they were
Yeah,
ready to
yeah,
play.
yeah, yeah.
And Sajan Bachman is asking Iran. Probably you can answer this.
Mm.
Is any of the jet wing hotels part of the expat quarantine center? Yeah, I think you. Yeah, at the
Yeah,
moment.
we have two hotels still offered for quarantine: Jetwing Beach and Jetwing Sea in
Right.
Negombo. Yeah,
Are there still people? They are coming
yeah,
in.
yeah. There are people staying for 14 days in those hotels.
Right. So as you rightly said, so all your the hotels they are operational
Yeah,
and running with skeleton staff,
right.
and I see that I think probably this weekend with the certain restrictions we had in the country that we were not allowed to
Yeah,
travel out of Western Province, and I guess all these resort hotels too, they were affected.
yeah,
And mate, just to ask you, just from an outsider's point of view, I'm not talking as a hotelier,
yeah.
that during hard times, after Easter bombing, and we have gone through even the time during the
Why?
civil,
We had the tsunami, we had all sorts of issues. Yeah,
and the people who kept you going are the locals, during hard times, and
absolutely.
have the how do you place yourself? Can I know that certain people that people who went out this weekend, they can't go on another afford to go on another trip week after because they probably will do it maybe once a month, once in
Mm.
3 months. The affordability, the what I'm trying to say is despite not having justified like not enough tourism,
Right.
the rates haven't I see some of the hotels have come up with good offers,
Yeah.
but i I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you
Yeah.
still need that forward plans to try and cater to
Yeah.
the local community.
Right.
And
Yeah.
could you come up with
You
offers the people can afford
Yeah,
and
yeah. I'll take you through.
yeah.
Anyway, Charit, even before the Easter Sunday bombing, our biggest market was Sri Lankan. 25% of our business was Sri Lankan, even during the good times.
Wow.
So yeah, so a lot of people don't realize this, but we've always maintained the resident rate. That resident rate is applicable for all people living in Sri Lanka. That is not only citizens but residents as well. Then after, of course, this COVID, and we started Sri Lankans visiting again, then of course we have reduced 50-60% of our rates, reduced. And right now currently we are going through a special offer where it's probably about 70% of called the 12 days of Christmas offer. Every day we put up, from yesterday we put out one or two hotels on sale on our website. And yesterday, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we had about close to 3 million rupees worth of sales for Jetwing Yale and Jetwing Surf in Portugal. So, I mean, when these offers come, people do buy, and that once you buy the voucher, you can use it. The voucher is valid till 30th June 2021. So, yes, we are doing, and also other hotels are also offering very, very attractive packages to get the Sri Lankans traveling again.
Wow, that's good news, mate. That's I
Yes,
think
yeah,
that's the way forward until this whole COVID
yeah,
situation
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
settles down, and that
Mm.
reopen our borders and the people
Yes,
start coming into the country.
yeah,
So look at the local market and just to
sure.
carry on going.
Mm.
And what do you think? That I know that that way that I think the centers like our main competitors like Thailand, Malaysia, I suppose they also going through the same scenario
Yeah.
that no internal travels, that the grouse or the complaints that the local people they have always, that that value for money, that
Right.
we go to any of our resort hotels, and how do you compare ourselves with the services that you get in Thailand and Bangkok and Malaysia and stuff like that?
I'm glad you asked this question because a lot of people compare us with Thailand, especially.
Yeah.
Thailand is a massive country, right? It has, like, I'll give you an example. If you take Bangkok as a city, Bangkok has close to 100,000 hotel rooms in
Yeah.
addition to the apartments and the homestays and everything. So you're talking 150 to 200,000 rooms available for people. So Bangkok offers from $5 to 500 to $1,000 a room. You can select what you like. So it's very, very difficult for now. Colombo, as a city, now has close to 8,000 rooms. That is the registered and the unregistered rooms in Colombo, right? So you're not comparing apples and apples. So therefore, and our cost of operation sometimes is a little higher as well. So therefore, it's very difficult for us to compete on big business with Thailand. You take
Right.
Phuket. Phuket has probably another 100,000 rooms. Entire Sri Lanka has 25,000 rooms, right? So you are not it's very difficult. But having said that, we have everything that Thailand offers in a smaller scale, with whether it is culture, whether it is food, whether it is people. Thai people are also very nice, very warm, very friendly. Sri Lankan people are the same, warm, friendly, always smiling, happy go lucky. All that is there. The beaches, the I mean, of course, one thing we have in addition to Thailand is a wildlife. I mean,
Yes.
the amount of wild. I mean, a lot of Thais don't believe that we have over 3,000 elephants in the wild, in addition to 1,200 elephants in captivity, right? Thailand probably has about 200 elephants in the wild. Such a massive country,
Yeah.
right? So therefore, people don't believe that we have 3,000 elephants in the wild
Yeah.
here,
True.
you
True.
know,
True. True.
and then the blue whale and the sperm whale. So in such a short time, you can see the largest mammals in the world within a few hours. That's very hard for any country to beat. And then
True.
our tea plantations and everything. So we offer, I think, a lot of experiences. Uh, which of course Thailand is attractive for other reasons as well. So that I
Yeah.
can't say in public, but
Yes. True.
so there are other reasons, but for normal tourism, we can compete, but not at that price. Thailand has that price advantage over
Very
us.
well said, Hiran. There is a
Mm.
very positive message coming through from Kusal Kumar Gunawardana.
Mhm.
He was one of my guests on my previous shows. He's a
Right.
top-notch physio based in Australia. He does work with the Australian the Olympic team. Listen to
Hmm.
this, Hiran. He
Yeah.
says, "Thank you, Charit and Hiran. We are looking at including Sri Lanka as a health and wellness tourism destination. I have clients who would come to Sri Lanka, travel throughout the country, staying at excellent hotels and experiencing physio, massage, yoga, meditation, etc. Hiran, do you think there is
Oh
scope for
yes.
something like this? I think you have already started, Hiran.
Future is that, because that's for sure. I mean, we already have one fully dedicated Ayurveda hotel.
Wow.
That's only We do only Ayurveda, vegetarian food, yoga, meditation, of course. And then about three of our other hotels have Ayurveda doctors, Ayurveda centers, and so on. And now the other thing, in addition to all this, is the Helaveda Kama. I'm not sure how many people are aware of it, because Ayurveda is not really Sri Lankan. Ayurveda comes from Kerala
India.
and
Okay. Yeah.
India, yes. And of course, we have also had it for 2,000 years. But Helaveda Kama is our own. And now a lot of even our Western medical practitioners are promoting Helaveda Kama. It's mainly the food that you take and the traditional rice varieties. Again, I think even our president now is promoting and encouraging the planting of those traditional rice varieties. There is a young man. In fact, you must get him also online on your show, called Dr. Ravindra. He's a graduate from the University of Sri Jayawardenepura,
Okay.
much younger than us, young enough to be our son. Actually, he's an authority on this food anthropology, and he says Sri Lanka during the times of King Parakramabahu and so on had 3,000 traditional rice varieties, and
Wow.
all those were killed off during the British occupation of our country. And then they used all the modern varieties that we are used to eating, the sambas and the all the they are easy to grow, easy to cook, easy to store, whereas the traditional rice varieties like pacha perumal, suvandal, kahamanu, kurlutuda, all that has a lot more nutrition in it, which cleanses, detoxes you, and that alone increases the immunity. So these boys now are spreading, and I know for a fact our president, His Excellency Gotabaya, has given these people 10,000 acres to grow these traditional varieties of rice. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's much more healthier than eating traditional rice varieties.
Wow, great to hear. Hiran, I hope you're not talking about the local paneer that was came into. To, yeah,
I'm
it's
not a
all.
Pani Mudalali.
Yeah, it's a little laughable, that
Yeah.
whilst trying to
Mm.
promote our
Yeah.
hella weather and all traditional stuff,
Yes.
and then you get find people gets
Yeah.
attracted to
Yeah.
these the local gimmicks and the
Yeah.
racketeers
Mm.
trying to make the
Yeah.
most of it, which
So
is I
correct.
don't know. I mean, it's perhaps it's a little too
Perhaps it
premature.
works. Who knows?
It
I mean,
was,
I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah.
Perhaps
Yeah.
a little too
Yeah.
premature for us to
Yeah.
jump into any
Correct.
conclusions at this
Correct.
point. Hopefully that'll work.
Mm.
And there's a very interesting observation by Shora saying that you should run for Sri Lankan Airlines. I think you should, mate. In other words, it's so much knowledge in the industry, and there is no better person than you. Actually, the right man for the right job. You should be there. Any thoughts on that? Do you, in your capacity, do you contribute as a consultant or anything to the sector? I know that you are involved with PATA and all that, but
Yeah.
what's your like involvement with the local industry?
Well, actually, the current minister, Prasanna Ranatunga, Minister of Tourism and Civil Aviation, has appointed me as the chairman of the Tourism Advisory Committee. He is the only Ranatunga I didn't know. I mean, the four cricketing Ranatungas, Dhammika, Arjuna, Nishanta, and Sanjeev, I knew very well, and I know very well. But this one I had not met at all. But he called me and said, "Can you be the chairman of the advisory committee?" So I have accepted that post. So he has about 10 other members in that committee, and we do talk to him on a regular basis. So yes, so whatever I can, put across to him and take it through him to the cabinet and so on, we do. Our first task was to get the country open for tourism. Once that is there, we are working on the sustainability aspect. When we talk of sustainability, there are four P's. People, profit, and planet, and the fourth P is peace. A lot of people, Chari, have forgotten this peace aspect. We in our country, we had to do a lot of reconciliation with the people in the north and the east, and also what happened after Easter Sunday. There has to be reconciliation among our Muslim brethren. So therefore, we can't forget these. COVID has put all those things into a shelf somewhere, and we are thinking, everything's tickety boo, open the airport, get tourists in, and
Yeah.
everything will be, happily ever after. No, that won't happen. We need to address these issues, and tourism is a great leveler. When you go to places, when you meet people of different faith, different beliefs. You need to listen to them, you need to embrace them, you need to work with them and understand them, and then only we can reconcile. Hatred and anger won't go far, and we have a lot of hatred and anger in our country, and that needs to be cleared, that needs to be ironed out as well. When I tell these Sometimes at tourism forums, they tell me, "Oh no, do the economic development, people will be happy." No, it's gone beyond economics now. It's gone far beyond economics into religious based hatred,
Sure.
into cultural based hatred, all that. So that needs to be, people need to understand these. People need to listen to the other side as well, and then sort them out, clear them, and that's going to take a long time. There is a friend of mine who wrote, he's an Englishman. He wrote a book on the Sri Lankan conflict called Elephant Complex. And he stayed here for about 3-4 months, researched and wrote the book. And he asked me, how long do you think it'll take us to, reconcile? I said 25 years. He said, man, you're an optimist. He said, I've been studying these internal conflicts for years in France, in Spain, in Africa, and so on. It takes more than 75 years, he said. So we have to work on those. It's probably, it won't solve during our lifetime, but may hopefully our children or children's lifetime, that this country will be once again, people where people can live without hatred, anger. And if we can achieve that, I think that those are the things that we need to work on. And get the politicians' minds. Politicians sometimes don't like to get involved in these difficult things. They like to talk of good things and then get votes in for their next election, but they need to plan long term. And sometimes it's nice to see youngsters in parliament, so that at least those guys will think 30-40 years from now, rather than the next 3 to 4 years.
Words of wisdom, people, everybody who's listening out there. Great positive thoughts, Hiran. And that's why we need people like you, in the right places, holding the fort, get that positive message across and let people understand, what's it all about, see the bigger picture. It's amazing, what the words, what you're saying, I'm really, I'm enjoying listening to you, despite the fact that you're my friend and, you
Thank
grew
you,
up.
yeah.
I know where you are right now because, the wealth of knowledge, you have acquired over the years. Rohan Anthony Stephans, bro, saying hi. That's remember
The
Rohan?
Canadian.
Rohan was St. Thomas's, right?
Yes, St. Thomas's, yes. Toby
Yeah,
opening bat.
yes. And Ajit Tabe says, guys, 402 elephants killed in 220. That's sad news, Hiran,
Yeah,
and that's something to look at. And Sumali, good to have Sumali. Sumali's, she's a lady based in Kenya, watching all the way from Kenya. Jumbo to you, Sumali, as well.
Jumbo, yeah.
She's a brilliant. She did a couple of workouts with the Scott Hiran, Scott. She's a qualified yoga therapist, I would say.
Right,
Amazing,
right.
absolutely brilliant. That she says, hopefully that I can extend my support towards this as a therapeutic teacher in the future. There you go.
Yeah.
There are lots of people out there who can actually bring their expertise
Sure,
back into the country.
sure. Of course.
And as you rightly said, that's the way forward. Who's trying to, poor guy trying to do something free of charge? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Kusal, yes, I will put you in touch with Hiran for sure. Kusal is a great guy. Probably.
Okay, look forward to chatting with him. Yeah.
Yeah, Hiran, you will find it. He's very useful. Any ailments that as we grow old,
Yes.
that you need a good physio by your side. So I have Kusal on one side, and there's another
Right.
guy, Dulan. Dulan is with Cricket Australia.
Okay.
Amazing, and this is the other area that
Right.
the boys, Sri Lankan boys, that whom we have lost, who have
Sure.
left our shows, but doing very well in other countries. They're doing good, so all the very best to them. Jahan Jaman, remember the old man from Sanjay Vijayman school? Just all the way from Kunai.
St. Anne's.
Yes, Jahan is watching.
Yeah.
The SL is trying to solve artificially created hatred, which was never there in the past. Yeah, Hiran, we probably could expand. The time we played, mate.
There were no issues like this.
Where we came from, we all grew up as equals, and we played hard on the field, but off the field that we were brothers. Otherwise you and I won't be talking so
Yeah.
many years down the line, the mutual respect we have for one another, and unfortunately, we don't see that, at the
Mm.
moment, So I don't know whether it's, you rightly said, it's politically driven by, for people who
Yeah.
are holding positions at the top for their
Uh,
political gains.
yeah.
How do we reconcile? I think it's up to people like you. And
I think it's up to all of us, because it's if you can work with people. I mean, if we wait till the politicians solve it, it'll never happen. I mean, those who are not in politics, like you and I and all the others, hopefully, who are listening to us today and in the future, each one of us has an obligation. Each one of us, if we can reconcile with two or three, that's a great achievement. I mean, to me, Chari, the biggest satisfaction I have up to date is our two properties in Jaffna. We
wow,
were the first to go and build a hotel in Jaffna. We started building in 2013 or 2014, and we opened the hotel in 2016. I mean, the hotel has not made any money since the time we opened it, but actually, that's not really the major issue, because to me, the greatest satisfaction is the number of kids we've been able to train, bring them into hospitality. There are kids from Muletivu, Kilinochi, all the areas of Jaffna. In fact, some who were combatants, who were rehabilitated by the army, who are now working with us, and that gives me a lot of satisfaction to see these kids. Some of them got married, went to Germany. They met people who came to stay there and then fell in love, and they are now gone to Germany to live in. That to me is a huge achievement, and I think we need to, respect them, love them, work with them, and if we can change two or three people's mindset, it trickles down. It keeps trickling down. So that's the way to go. I think not wait for the priests or the political leaders to do it. It probably won't happen.
again, excellent words, Iran. In my wish list, or the bucket list,
Mm.
that I have not been to Jaffna since I last played. I can't remember. I think when I was captaining under 17, Arjuna and I, we played together.
Hmm.
And since then, I have not visited Jaffna. The other day, I was very happy to see, that during the LPL, that they showcased a
The
bowler
boy
from.
leg spinner, he has a good future.
There you go.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
amazing to see,
Mm.
and you don't believe, that I. So I genuinely, I said it on Facebook. It is so glad that to see this boy and to playing, and the guys from
Mm.
Jaffna, the amount of people who contacted me and said thank you very much for highlighting and all that.
Mm. Mm.
Then I was looking for this guy. He's a guy named Thomas. I don't know whether you remember. I think he played for Jaffna Central, and
Okay.
brilliant right arm leggy who played.
Okay.
After 8-3 riots, I completely lost touch. So I sent a message out there, said, "Where is Thomas?" And I would love to
Mm.
say hi to Thomas. He
Right.
don't seem to be 24, not even 24 hours. That
He appeared.
no, they tracked him down in Canada. I'm trying to get it.
Wow.
Try to they gave me the contacts of Thomas.
Right.
That he lives in Canada. I hopefully I can say hi to Thomas one day.
Yeah.
And Suresh Murugesh, good to have you on the show. I will get back to you in a minute. And Leslie, all the way from Australia, Hiran is asking, do we have timeshare hotels in Sri Lanka? And I don't know what that is.
No, no, no. There are no timeshare hotels at the moment in Sri Lanka. One or two started it together with RCI, Resort Condominium International, but that failed. So at the moment, there are no timeshare units. There is a Marriott in Sri Lanka, but I don't think the timeshare points of Marriott can be used in that hotel either. So for the moment, no. But there is a future for that. If I mean, I know in Australia and in other countries it's very big. A lot of
Right.
people buy points. Marriott is one company that is also doing their own timeshare setup. So does Hilton and some of the bigger companies, but none of the Sri Lankan companies have got into it at the moment.
So, do you have any plans, to get in there? This, is
We were
a
looking at it. We were looking at it. I myself is a timeshare points owner of Marriott, so I've studied it quite extensively with my sons and so on. But obviously, right now is not the time to go for it. But yeah, give it a couple of years, and there is possibility. In this part of the world, Anantara hotels. Based out of Bangkok, there are two Anantara hotels in Sri Lanka. They do have an Anantara Vacation Club and a point system going, which kind of rivals Marriott. Marriott is the biggest in the world, but Anantara rivals, in Asia.
Right, right. Okay, so it's something to look forward in the future. Leslie, I hope Hiran answered your question. And Rizwan Musaf, hi Rizwan, good to have you, mate. Hi Charit Hiran. As you open up the country in Jan, has been a plan put in place for events to attract the tourists with the new normal?
Yeah, I mean, there is of course a promotional plan. Finally, I think they have appointed. I'm not 100% aware of the promotional plan because I'm not on the board, but uh, there is a plan to promote tourism once the airport is open.
Right. Are you working closely with the tourist board?
But our association is, yes, but I'm not on any of those boards, so I'm not privy to any of what's being planned or discussed there. But obviously, I know that there are plans to promote the destination once the board is open.
Don't you think that it should go hand in hand? The tourist board cannot work on their own without
No, they do. In fact, there are private sector members on the board.
right.
So there is a it's just that I'm not involved. So but some of the other colleagues are involved.
Right, right. There's Leslie says yes. Thanks, Hiran. I appreciate it very much. It's Jan says, sure, Hiran. As individuals, we will have to love each other. As Suresh Murugesh says, where is the camaraderie? Between the players. At the time you guys played. Well,
Yeah.
it's I think the time to think about it,
Yeah.
Suresh. The time Hiran and I played, there was no big
There was
money.
no money.
There you go. We played for the passion and for the love of the game. But now it's a professional sport, and
Yeah.
there is a lot of competition out there.
Yeah.
So I as a coach, I would rather, I will answer that, Suresh. We are doing a lot of things, team building and interaction, as you rightly asked, between the teams, after the game. But times are hard, and that's boys, that and the other thing is that most of the players who are playing the Division 1 Premier Cricket at the moment, it's so ironic.
Yeah.
You can't find a player from Colombo, literally.
Yeah.
90% of the boys who are playing, they're all
Yes.
from outstations.
Outstations, yeah.
They're bordered, all over the place, so they have lots of issues, getting back home after training, transportation, the food wise, so they had very little time for leisure. But we're still trying. We are trying to do the best we can and keep it going. And Hiran,
I can give you some feedback as to why Colombo is not producing that many cricketers.
yes,
Because as I said, my sons played, so I'm relatively involved. I was involved because he was playing, and when he was playing under 15, one of the outstation teams hammered the daylights out of the Josephians, and the teacher in charge of that school, they didn't even have a proper coach, right? The teacher in charge of that school's team was a female.
wow.
And this lady came to talk to us after the match. And then she said in Sinhalese, you know what happened? We said, no. Your boys are there going in air-conditioned cars. They have all the comforts. There is no pressure on them. My boys, they fall off trees and, all those things. They come to school either by foot or by bike or by bus. They go through all the trouble. And for them, they need to perform to get to places. So, think about it, that, that what that teacher said still resonates. I always tell my boys, look, this is what this lady said, and that's so true. For our boys, whether it's St. Joseph's, Ananda, Royal, St. Thomas's, St. Peter's, whatever, Nalanda, the comfort is there. All the comfort is there. So there is no drive in them to take that extra step. Whereas the outstation boys, hey, they are. I mean, we have to be proud of them. They really shine when they get the opportunity.
That's the way to go, Iran, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the ground reality.
Mm.
They have the hunger in their bellies.
Yes. Yeah.
So the no sooner you give them the opportunity, they shine better
Yeah.
than our boys. Probably,
Sure.
they have all the comforts and they
Mm.
take the easy way out. They play
Yeah.
one school season, then they have achieved the objective and they just shy away from
Yeah.
cricket. And whereas the boys from outstation, that they carry on regardless.
Mm.
And good to have Rookie on the show. What is Rookie saying? As always, good listening to Mr. Hiran Cooray. He is very informative. Best wishes and compliments of the season to you both. Compliments of the season to you too, Rookie.
All the blessings. All the blessings.
Rookie and Sanjeev Ranatunga, you're a good mate. I think they are regular members at the your outlet at Colombo 7. Probably
those shouldn't be revealed in public.
that's true. Probably Rupee is looking for your insurance next year. And good luck to you, mate. Just someday in SL, perhaps a timeshare is a vacation property arrangement that lets you. I'll just show this on the column that that you could expand on it, Hiran, if you want to. Arrangement that lets you share the property cost with others in order to guarantee time at the property. That's still Leslie's still talking about the timeshare.
Okay, maybe Leslie and I should have a separate chat on this later on. Or if you want me to answer, sorry, I did not understand the question properly.
He's saying a timeshare is a vacation property arrangement that lets you share the property cost with others in order to guarantee time at the property.
Correct. That's right. He obviously has studied this, so he's involved in this. So what he's saying is right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something that people can look into and just to work on it. I mean, at times like this, I think the survival, isn't it, Iran?
Sure.
And so the times are hard, but you have survived. As at the beginning of our conversation, you said you don't know at the moment. You're forking out 90 million, footing a bill, salary bill. And how long you can do that? Probably you can sustain, but you don't know the future of some of the other hotels. So people, it comes from the horse's mouth. We need to support the industry for them to survive, and we all go hand in hand here, isn't it? One industry goes down,
sure,
it's interconnected, and that. So we all can, all can suffer the consequences. So what to take from 2020? Forget about it. I didn't think there's nothing to talk about this year. One of the most disastrous years ever.
Yes.
And 2021. So the positives, probably shorter period of just to sum it up, what we spoke in our current period, and more people visiting Sri Lanka and vaccination perhaps. And the news is that the hotels are not shutting down, and you're coming up with the good offers so the people can enjoy. A good vacation. And any plans for 31st night, or Hiran, the hotels? How
no, I don't think most of the hotels are planning any tamashas on the 31st. Most will be fairly low key events, if at all. So because one thing is the cost, the other is the uncertainty. So people will, hoteliers will not take the risk of, as you say, sadly, they won't be able to contract bands and things like that. Which probably they wouldn't cover the cost. They wouldn't find sponsors for those events. So therefore it'll be, and also we still don't know the guidelines, whether they'll relax the guidelines. So therefore it'll be a low key, but more private parties, private events, and those who go to the hotels will be small numbers who will enjoy themselves and come out. Yeah.
Okay. So that's it is. And a long message from Marlon Dale Ferreira. Good to have you on the show, mate. Hiran, do you think Sri Lanka needs to drive a vibrant ambassadorial program across all embassies around the world, where tourism in all forms, be sports, tourism, medical tourism, leisure, etc., aggressively promoted simultaneously? Also to explore opportunities to bring in more foreign investors by providing them with valid and current information, provide an international platform for young entrepreneurs to promote their innovative, great products and ideas, reignite and drive the already signed many bilateral agreements that currently lay
Yeah.
dormant?
Well, I think that's the ideal scenario. Yes, if it can be done like that, but normally it doesn't happen. Nowhere in the world it happens that way. There is always political appointees as well as career persons who will go. So therefore, what Malan is saying is right. That's how it should be, but I'm not sure whether it's practical.
Right, and AJ says travel is not traveling but dreaming. When the eventually return is going to be a
Yeah.
totally different business.
Mm.
Good times ahead, like in cricket, tourism has many comebacks, yeah, which is very
Yeah.
true. I think that's what life is all about, that we are not going to lie down and
Yeah.
just, go away. We'll stand up and fight Iran. I think those are good things that was,
Yeah.
taught to us by playing cricket. The Malan says Dubai did it. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure that it will get there as well.
Yeah.
And just going back to quickly, that 91. Have you heard from Mr. Tissera?
Which one?
Our beloved manager, Mr. Michael Tissera. Have you been in touch with?
I
Sir?
bumped into him last at the golf club. He had come
Right.
for some event, and that was a few months ago. Thankfully, he still looks the same.
Yeah.
He looks fit. You're fit, but me not. But he looked at me. I know he thought, oh no, this fellow is so much younger than me. I was ashamed, but yeah, thank God, God bless him. He looks
Oh yeah, yeah.
he looks good and smart as ever, and gentleman to the core. He was absolutely fine gentleman, and he's one guy. I think I told you privately, but I must tell this again for the benefit of the others. He always thought that you and Aravind were, on that tour, were of a different class. He always used to tell us, watch that boy Charit bat. He plays that ball a little later than the others. And he was comparing internationally with Greg Chappell and Vivian Richards at that time. The two batsmen, he said, plays that ball a little late than the ordinary or the normal batsman. And he said, in our team, it was Charit and Aravind who had that extraordinary talent. So, we missed a lot of your cricket during that time because of the conflict and so on. So you did not have the same opportunity, sadly, Charit. But, you were a great batsman that we enjoyed watching.
Thank you, Hiran. Thanks for the compliment. At least, Mr. Tissera was right about Aravind more than me and Arjuna. I took I took the easy way out, But I played, that he insisted that I play for CCC, and because of him, that for 13 seasons I played for CCC, and thanks to Mr. Tissera. Good old Mr. Raya. Is he still around, or Mr.
Yeah, he is. He was actually teaching in Karachi. He returned to the island only last year after he retired. So he's here. He's here. Yeah, he's here.
If you meet him, Hiran, please,
I will. Yes,
regards. I think, unfortunately, Mr. Gunasekar passed away, if I'm not mistaken. A couple of years ago, if I'm another great teacher,
another great man. Yeah.
So fantastic too, and we had some great characters, from Naveen De Silva to to Arjuna to Ravin is fully involved with Sri Lanka cricket at the moment, and there were so many, that it's good to have our own forum and just to catch up.
Correct.
And just that you and I have been talking over an hour now, mate. Just as we always said that you are the one who can initiate that. I'm looking forward to reunion of that 91 tour. Get all these great characters under one roof.
That is 81 tour, not 91 tour.
80.
91 makes us young, man.
91, I played for Sri Lanka. So
that's right. Yeah.
Eventually, from Sri Lanka schools to the big jump, it took me 10 more years to get into national recognition. But I always a dream that if we can, the whole squad can get together one day. Everything just settles down. We should do that. It's a priority. Okay, it's another one in my bucket list. Time to come. Hiran, what your parting words, mate? Just to all the people listening out to you, and eventually I'll post these on YouTube as well for people for their easy reference. And what are your thoughts for the coming year?
Well, I'm a now born optimist. I can't think negative at all. I don't. I mean, I have very strong faith in God, Charit. Born a Christian, always a Christian, and I have strong faith in God. I know for sure that we will get over this situation as well. As to when, we don't know. God has His own plans, and we must not give up hope, not give up our faith. I mean, and keep doing our best. I mean, whatever we can do for the benefit of our country, for the people, that's what we should be doing.
Great thoughts and great words, Hiran. Please give my regards to your family and to the three
I
boys.
will. I will.
That we should catch up sometime. And so, on behalf of Hiran, and just on my show, that I take this opportunity to wish everyone compliments of the season, and hopefully that we'll have a good Christmas, and forget about 220. Let's be
Yeah.
optimistic for 21. Well, correct. Hold on, man. You are just trying to be 10 years younger. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I'd like to thank you, Charit, for giving me this opportunity, and also all those who have been listening in and watching us talk. It is nice to know that people still want to listen to me and everybody else. And God bless you all. Have a blessed season, and hope to catch up again soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Hiran. Thanks for agreeing to be on the show. It's a great pleasure talking to you. As Peter said, remember Peter Vijayaratna played for
Yes.
these couple of years younger to us,
Yeah.
played for St. Thomas's, and great guy. I think he's also in Australia. It's very interesting, Hiran, to see that 90% of the people who are listening to us and contributing
From Australia.
from overseas.
Yeah.
Literally, that because of the time
Right.
difference, we haven't had anyone from UK. Probably, they're still too early for them.
Yes.
And lots of people from Aussie because the time difference, it's evening for them. And then few people from USA and Canada, and so everybody is, Rashad Guru Singh, good to have you, Guru. Good to have you on the show. Just he's been a great friend. We always chat, on and off. Just I haven't seen Guru for a while. And
He was the fastest runner in school. 100
Yeah.
meters. Yeah. In addition to his brilliant bowling and left-hand batting, he was a 100 meters champion.
Oh, no wonder that the idea. Yeah, I remember that Guru. A strong boy, very strong guy. Just he ran fast, but did not bowl that fast. If I may recall,
He used to swing the ball.
Yeah, he's a swinger. Exactly. Yeah. And Amit Pasala, is another great guy. If you remember Amit, he was a great journalist, way back in time.
Okay.
Amit is in Dubai at the moment. He's listening all the way from Dubai.
Right.
Riaz, it's 2 a.m. for me, Charit, but did not want to miss both of you, and I appreciate it. He's in Canada.
Right.
So it's, we just, we have gone globally, Hiran, just for the last 1 hour. It's a great pleasure, talking to you once more, Hiran. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for
God bless
being
you
on the show. I hope you enjoyed the chat as much as I did, Hiran.
For sure. It's really nice. Thank you again, Charit.
Thank you. That Dion Bernard side was the pioneer with Kalu to start hard hitting. Yeah, I think I opened batting with Kalu, sometime back, as Hiran rightly pointed out. That was 91. Yeah, that's a long time ago. Hiran, just to tell you a story about something you said when I first started the show, that was the time just before the lockdown, everything that it was a crazy idea that I had to start this talk show, and had a lot of response initially, and then like everyone else started doing it, but that's fine.
That's the way it is, yeah.
I encourage everyone to to get on there, and that gave people hope when you are in a lockdown scenario. So all you could do is to get online, talk to people, and keep it going. And so most of the people who started, it's not easy to do it something over a period of time. And some of the people who spoke to why I'm telling you, don't give up hope. That if you had one bad show does not mean that it's that it can happen. But all those people who started, I encourage them to go ahead, because the more you talk, more you learn, and it's like everything else in life. It's progression. More you do it, the better you become. Just like practice. So at times it's hard. You got to invest probably on a good software, good hardware. and stuff like that, Hiran, like any other industry.
Yeah.
So I'll tell the boys out there, don't give up hope.
No,
Like, you
no.
know, I would like to, I will try and help them as much as possible whenever I can come on their shows. You know, that not that I'm a pioneer in this business, but I'm still learning. But not to give up hope. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much, Hiran.
Thank you again, Charit. Thank you, and wish you
Merry
the best.
Christmas. And if I don't see you, if I don't speak to you before Christmas, have a great Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Great, New Year. Hopefully the English will come, and that we may be able to catch up, during the test match, that in goal.
That's
All
right.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Talk to you soon. You take care.
God bless you. God bless. Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, people. That is great talking to Hiran Cooray, my old teammate and friend for the last so many years. That it was a great chat. As I said that, I was looking forward to speak to Hiran, and he's a great character, it's so much wisdom, and so we all know why Hiran where he is right now. It's apart from what he has inherited, it's from what his family has built up, but he has taken the JetPing group of companies to another level, and I wish Hiran and JetPing all the very best in the coming years. Lalitaya, thank you very much for being a part of the show. Thanks for your compliments as always, and I appreciate very much that you had to burn midnight oil. Always, it's very pretty encouraging. Rookie, thanks a lot for the kind words, mate. Manix, one of the best shows and a timely one. Thank you for the positive words. Shorab, thanks so much, Arit, as always. It was great. Thank you. Thanks for being there. Thanks for being a part of the show over the years. And on that note, people, once again, I would like to thank all those viewers who have been on the show for the last 1 hour 30 minutes. The 30 minutes that I was talking to Hiran. And thanks for being there. Thanks for being a part of the journey. And AJ, thank you very much, mate. And I wish you once again all the very best, and have a great Sunday and great Christmas, and take care, everyone, and God bless. Stay safe. Bye-bye for the moment until I see you on the other side again. Hiran, thank you, mate. Thank you. Oh, thanks for the kind words. It was great listening to Hiran as well. Romesh Disilla, great show, Chari and Hiran. Enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you, Roma, and good to have you on the show as well. And you can still send your comments, and you watch the show. It will be on Facebook. Anyone who missed it, so you can watch it later. And people who have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go there and appreciate. If you can subscribe to the channel, and which had been there for a while. That's all I have to say. And have a good day, whatever left out of Sunday. And have a good week. And see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.